This episode of IBJJF TV is brought to you by Shock Doctor, hardcore protection, fearless performance. Defense Soap, defense keeps you on the mat. And Nogi Industries, since 2003, the real Nogi.
You're watching IBJJF TV. Sponsored in part by the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation and BudoVideos.com.
It's a chilly morning here at St. Thomas College. We're in Houston, Texas for the IBJJF 2012 Houston Open. Let's go inside and check out the action.
It's said that everything is bigger in the Lone Star State, and this year's third annual Houston Open not only made a case for that claim, but confirmed it. With more than 600 competitors from around the world and some of the best players from top teams converging on H-Town, the 2012 edition of this Texas-sized event was not only their biggest to date, but a rousing reminder that the burgeoning tournament gets bigger and better every year.
Guys, I'm here with Rafael Lovato Jr. Rafael, what brings you out to Houston today?
Well, basically, I'm here coaching my students, getting the year started. You know, they're trying to get in their rhythm, get ready for all the big competitions coming up, and so I'm just here coaching and supporting all my guys.
How important is it for you to be here at a relatively smaller tournament?
Man, this is what I grew up doing, you know, tournaments like this, even way smaller than this. You know, it's hard for me to compete in these tournaments nowadays. I have so many students, and I just kind of focus on the more major ones. But, you know, my students, they're a piece of me, and it's hard for me to miss them competing. So when they're out here, I got to be here supporting them and coaching them and watching, seeing their mistakes, and go home and go back to work, you know.
What do you think are some of the benefits for the competitor to get out here and compete?
Oh man, you know, it's all about learning, right? So you gotta get out there, you know, try to play your game and see where you're making mistakes, see where you can be better, and just get the feel for it, you know, because a lot of guys are great in the academy, but then they step on the mat at a competition and they just kind of fall apart. You know, they can't do the same thing they do at home. So you have to get out there and experience the anxiety, the nerves, the pressure, and get to where you can control it and use it to your advantage. And that takes time, that takes practice. So that's what these are about, you know, getting, you know, if you can do really well here, you're probably going to have a better shot at doing well at the bigger tournament. Whereas, you know, if you just go right into the bigger tournament without any lower experience, it might be rough.
Man, I came here to coach some of my students. I have schools here in Texas too. So I brought some of my guys from Miami to compete here. And to see my guys from here competing, getting together, doing this, you know, like I always try to promote the relationship in between my schools. And, you know, nothing better to come here, start the year with the right foot and bring my guys to compete.
Coaching or competing, which do you prefer?
Man, I like both, truly. Like, I love to teach, so I have a lot of schools. I love to see my students. Truly, I feel more excitement on watching my students compete than when I compete. You know, for me, to compete, it's like, you know, I've been competing for a long time. I love to compete. That's my life. It's a different feeling, you know what I mean? But, you know, and my guys is like, you know, like, it's my kids competing, doing everything I taught them. It's just different feeling, you know. But I always try to compete as much as I teach, as much as I see my guys competing. And it's always good to show my guys, look, I want you guys competing, look at me, you know. So I always try to be the leader, be in the front and having my guys follow me and going out there and putting on a show.
Why do you think people should compete?
I don't know how people couldn't compete, you know. Truly, like, I'm a really I'm crazy competitor. I love to compete all the time. That's what drives me. You know, I always like to test myself, you know, and like not only to win or lose, you know, because it takes a while until you get on your stage that you get winning and winning. But like, I think the competition part is just like to stimulate yourself and to test yourself as your training has been going. You know what I mean? Even though a lot of times we get to lose, you know what I mean? There's nothing that you can lose on competing. You know what I mean? You always learn, you're always going to be, you know, getting something better. You always can see, man, oh, look, yeah, I'm missing this on my game, I'm missing that on my game. So always when you compete, winning or losing, you're always gaining something. So everybody should compete as much as possible. If I could, I would compete every weekend.
I'm here with Brandon Wolverine Mullins. Brandon, what are you doing here this weekend?
Just coaching mostly. Actually, that's all I'm doing. I had signed up just to fight, of course, in the black belt adult Pluma, but didn't have any competitors, so not going to be fighting this weekend. Kind of upset about that. Wanted to get ready for Pan Ams, but just going to be coaching, helping the team, and we've already had some guys win today, which is looking to be a good day so far.
What are the qualities of a good coach?
I think you have to know your athlete. I think you have to know kind of, what he's good at and what he's bad at. And you got to help him, stay confident, and you got to get a good strategy for him. If you know the guy's, wants to pull guard, you got to pull him inside and say, hey, man, if you want to pull guard, you got to do that immediately. Don't run around and wait for him to take you down, or he's going to pull guard first. So I really think one of the most important things is kind of that first move, whether it's going to be a takedown or it's going to be a guard pull. You got to get that in your head, because the person who gets where they want to the fastest is probably going to win.
IBJJF tournaments are getting bigger, and there's more of them around the country. What's your opinion of the IBJJF tournaments? I
think it's great. They always have the top competitors there. This tournament is already twice as big as it was the last year, and I don't know if the gymnasium is getting smaller or if there's more people here, but it's definitely more crowded than it was last time. A lot of blue belts. We just had a guy, one of our guys fighting, has 5 matches in the blue belt division, so that's at least 40 people, I think. And I think it's great, man. They're doing a lot of things for the sport. Everything is organized. It's on time. Everybody's on weight. Everybody has the right gi. The refereeing is good. And like I said, the competitors are top notch.
Guys, I'm here with black belt world champ and ref Hillary Williams. I see you out here reffing a lot. Do you enjoy it?
I love it. It's definitely a way to stay involved in jiu-jitsu when I'm not able to compete anymore. I'm training only about 3 days a week, so this is a good way to get involved. And I think it's something we need in the sport, is passionate refs who are there for the athletes to make sure they get the best experience and the most fair one they can have.
And how is IBJJF as far as the tournament to ref for?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's super professional. You've got breaks, you've got food. It shows that they've been doing this for a really long time, and it's an honor to ref for them, honestly.
What would you say to the people out there that might not be sure if they want to compete or not?
I don't think that competition is something that everyone has to do. I think that you should try it before you write it off. It's really an exhilarating experience. It's a great time to check and see if your technique is where you think it's at. And it's fun to experience, because whenever you're in a gym, you get your coach's game, you get your training partner's game, you get used to that. When you come into a tournament and you see something you've never seen before, not only is it a good experience for your jiu-jitsu, but it kind of opens your eyes to the possibilities of the entire sport. I think it's just a good experience for everyone.
Guys, I'm here with black belt world champ Justin Rader. Justin, I see you running around all over the place coaching your guys. How's the coaching going?
Man, going really good. A lot of our guys are doing really good. We just had a couple of medal here recently, and the day's just getting started. We got a long day and a long day ahead of us tomorrow as well, so it's going really good, man.
What are the qualities of a good coach?
I think, not only being able to coach the guys through different things and whatnot, but keeping their mind right, especially, in some of these bigger brackets, you can start to wear down, you get tired or whatnot, and keeping that energy there for them as well, and really giving that back to them as well, keeping them calm, focused, throughout some of those longer, bigger brackets, so keeping their mind right, I think is key, not, as well as being, doing all the other stuff, coaching them through the match, moves, making sure the refs, do their job as well, all that kind of good stuff.
Now, for some of the guys out there that might not think they're ready for competition, what would you say to motivate them to compete?
I would say do it on your own terms. You're gonna feel, maybe one way or another about it. It's a learning process. For me, it was 8-9 years from being when I started really, really young, even in wrestling, before I really started feeling comfortable being out there, doing all the things right, managing the match the right way. All of those things, it's a learned process, competition. So I would say jump right in as soon as you're comfortable, and can take each one as a learning experience.
Gianni, you had an amazing performance today, winning your division and the absolute division. Tell me a little bit about how it went.
Well, I had 6 matches today. I think I finished 4 of them. Weight class was obviously most important to me. I fought a really good kid from Lloyd Irving. He won the Worlds at Purple Belt 2010, so it was a big step for me. I really loved fighting him, and then had a little bonus in the absolute. I was able to finish all 3 guys there.
You were caught in a toe hold for a little bit in your last match of the absolute. How's your foot feeling now?
Well, it's not feeling too good, so I can imagine it's going to be 10 times worse in the morning, but That's how it is. That's how it is in the sport. Just heal it up and I'll be good to go.
What's the next tournament for you?
I'm going to do Rob Constance's Ultimate Absolute in New York City. I'm looking forward to it. It's a lot of really good guys like Celso Vinicius, Samuel Braga, so I know the cards are stacked against me, but I train hard. You know, I'm always looking forward to a challenge, and I can't wait to go out there and put on a show.
We see you at the Pan or the Worlds?
Of course, that's always the goal coming into this year.
All right, keep up the good work.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Rafael Mendes has been racking up gold medals in championships across the globe for Team Atos. In this fast-paced featherweight match, he faces Andre Monteiro from the Carlson Gracie team. Rafael feeds a collar across to set up the Bravo choke, and he secures a submission in less than 2 minutes. Also in the featherweight division, Guilherme Mendes faces off against 2010 world champion Pablo Silva from Gracie Barra. After both athletes simultaneously pull guard, Pablo gets an early lead with a sweep. From here on out, Guilherme will be the one racking up the points, starting out with this beautiful fake guard pull to take down. Pablo successfully defends an onslaught of chokes by Mendes, but finally succumbs to a baseball choke at 7 minutes and 30 seconds after Mendes had already racked up a score of 23-2.
So guys, let me start out. This is the first time that you've done one of these smaller IBJJF tournaments. Why did you want to do this tournament?
Yeah, because actually the training that we are doing in San Diego at Andreas Academy is for the Pan Ams, but we decided to join the tournament like at last minute, because after I fight here today, I could see many mistakes on my game. So we decided to fight so we can see our mistakes, and now when we go back home, we can like improve. We can fix all the details to get ready 100% to fight the Pan Ams.
This tournament is small preparation for the Pan Ams, for the big tournaments. And the camp in San Diego will be open for everybody. So if you guys want to join the camp, just send us a message and we will be very welcome.
That's amazing for me to hear that you identified holes in your game, because watching as a spectator, you guys dominated. You both got submissions. Guilherme fought a world champ, and the score was 23-0 before the submission. So I'd like to know what the mistakes were, but you probably won't talk about those.
No, yeah, like even when we win the matches, we can see the mistakes. You can't like, I won, so I have no mistakes, my game is perfect. No, you always have something to improve. I think you need to be very like open-minded, and be very careful about your game. So you always have something to improve. You always can get better. So after we fight here today, like I see my mistakes. So now I can improve. So because it's really important you keep competing. We don't like just join like big tournaments. Like I'm gonna fight just the Pan Ams and the Worlds. Like sometimes you can't compete a lot, but I feel when I compete a lot, when I join small tournaments, it's a good preparation for the big ones. So always, if I can do, I will do it for sure.
I have been fighting against Pablo many times. He's a very tough guy, and I had a mistake. If you see the fight, I had a mistake in the beginning of the fight. He got a sweep, was 23-2, and this is good because now I can see what I need to improve when I play on top. Even if I pass his guard, before I had a mistake, so now this is the point that I need to train.
In one of the more talked about matches of the event, Ryan Hall from 50/50 Jiu-Jitsu Academy and fighting under Marcelo Garcia faced Gracie Barra's Bruno Amorim. Hall keeps a cautious Amorim at bay with his tricky inverted guard for the majority of the match. Amorim was penalized for stalling and the match was restarted in the center of the mat. With the advice of Rafael Lovato Jr. in his corner, Hall changes his game and almost immediately attacks with a triangle, but Amorim escapes. Amorim then passes the guard for points, but Hall answers back immediately with a takedown to make the score 3-2 in Amorim's favor. With only seconds left in the match, Hall takes the back of Amorim with a roll from half guard. With ankles crossed, Hall is not awarded points and Amorim takes the victory with a final score of 3-2. In a lightweight match versus Albert Hughes of Genesis Jiu-Jitsu, JT Torres proves why he is one of America's best black belts. While keeping Hughes on the defensive for the duration of the bout, Torres secures his victory via bow and arrow choke in just over 2 minutes. In the lightweight finals, JT Torres of Lloyd Irvin meets Bruno Amorim. Looking to avenge his loss to Amorim in the finals of the 2009 Worlds, Torres sets up an early omoplata and turns it into a sweep as Amorim stands. Back on their feet, Amorim shoots for a takedown but falls right into a triangle armbar, earning JT the gold medal in the lightweight division. In the medium heavyweight division, Andre Galvao from Team Atos faced James Harbison from Team Lloyd Irvin. Harbison, a newly promoted black belt, has a win over Cobrini at the 2011 Nogi Worlds and is a 2011 brown belt middleweight world champion. Harbison showed some excellent guard retention, but it wasn't quite enough to stop Andre's smooth passing. Halfway through the match while attempting a kimura, Andre Galvao fell back to an armbar but ultimately lost the position. Galvao continues his attacks with another armbar, but Harbison escapes before the match is halted due to a tear in his pants. In the closing seconds of the match, Harbison threatens with a loose triangle, but Galvao escapes and wins the match on points. In a medium heavyweight final match, Andre Galvao faced off against Brazilian top team's Diego Nogueira. Andre showed world-class athleticism and balance as he avoids most of Nogueira's sweeps. Andre sets his grips for a clock choke and Diego puts Andre on his back, but it's not enough to escape the choke that ends the match in under 3 minutes.
Andre, you had 2 amazing matches today. Let's talk about your first one against Jimmy Harbison. Did he surprise you with his guard retention?
Yeah, I knew already, his guard is pretty flexible, I knew that. And he kind of like to do what I like to do, the invert de la riva. And I knew that I broke his grips and keep like my work, my footwork, And I was like studying his game, before. I knew the guy is like really flexible, really good guard, And in the final, in the end of the match, he just tried to get omoplata on me, and then I was safe, was like the last 30 seconds. But he's pretty good, good, very flexible, strong grips, and I was ready, so I trained for this, with Rafael, Guilherme, and with my students in San Diego. And I'm really happy. I did great. The fight was 15 points. It was good. So.
In your final match, you had an upside-down clock choke. Is that a submission that you get in training a lot?
Yeah, it's not because I'm just I'm here because I need, I want to come back. I want to fight the words, and I don't want to just prepare for the words. I want to fight these tournaments just to make me feel comfortable, more comfortable, get more confidence, because I was too much time without the gi, training just MMA. But now I'm over 1 year back with the gi, and on the first fight I tried to armbar Jimmy, and then he escapes, I lost the position, so I need to drill more of those things, kind of to don't lose the position like that, And on the clock choke, when I did the clock choke on the Gamonal, on the final, I put the weight on him, but I kind of I shouldn't don't let him turn, And he turned, but I was really tight, and I just keep squeezing. So, and then he felt the pressure and he tapped. So, and then it was an upside down clock choke. But it was good,
So are we going to start seeing you more at these regional tournaments in addition to the big tournaments?
Yeah, sure. Right now, I fought this just to feel more comfortable to fight the Pan Ams, I like to fight the Pan Ams. And also the words, So, but right now, probably, if my wife comes to fight, because she needs to fight too, And I'm here for her and to coach Rafael and Guilherme. And then I will fight for sure, I can't be outside just watching, I like to fight, this is my life.
In the heavyweight finals, Marcelo Burgo in white shows dominance throughout the match with a takedown, back take, and finally an armbar to become the 2012 Houston Open heavyweight champion. In an open weight semifinal, JT Torres faces Carlson Gracie black belt Andre Monteiro. After an early guard pull by Monteiro, Torres gets a quick guard pass and finishes Monteiro with one of his strongest submissions, a bow and arrow choke at only 55 seconds into the match. Lloyd Irvin teammates JT Torres and James Harbison face each other in the open weight finals. Torres gets back control early on, but it's shaken off by a much larger Harbison. After a nice sweep from Harbison, Torres falls back to a knee bar where Harbison verbally taps at the 4-minute mark. Torres takes double gold, a remarkable feat for a lightweight competitor.
JT, congratulations on the gold in the absolute and in your weight class.
Thank you.
But mainly I want to say thank you for both you guys for competing, even though your teammates, unfortunately, we see a lot of times teammates don't compete, but you guys did. How did you go about deciding that?
Honestly, we just roll like we roll in the academy every day.
Did you like the fight? Absolutely. Great match.
We went at it, huh?
Sure did. Draculino, first place for the team trophy. Your team did very well this weekend.
Third time in a row, and this time almost 3 times the points at the second place. I mean, it's not just my team. Gracie Barra has a team. Professor Piano did a great job with his students. My students also did, man, unbelievable. From all the belts, from the black all the way to the white, and kids and masters, everything. And also other professors from Gracie Barra, all over Texas. It was good. I mean, it shows that, Gracie Barra, first place in the Europeans, first place now, you're coming back.
You're a great leader, coaching all these guys. I heard you screaming from the sidelines all day yesterday and all day today. Didn't matter if it was a black belt or a white belt. You were still coaching them with the same intensity. That's a sign of a great coach.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Upcoming IBJJF events include Pan Kids, February 19th. San Francisco International Open, February 26th. For more information on upcoming IBJJF events, please visit ibjjf.org.